Alrighty, 12:36 where Nevada comes to talk. Let's update you on the markets real quick. The Dow's trying to climb itself out of negative territory after being deeply lower earlier. The Dow is now down 59 points. That's a 0.25%, 24,271. NASDAQ has peaked up 1%, 90 points, 92.11. S&P 500 is just over. It's just about 0.2% higher at 29.34. Crude oil is wiggling around. It's now at 24.72. That's off 2 cents. Gold, though, off big, off almost 1%. $14.30 to $16.99.60. And silver, if this will move, but it's not going to move, and it moved too many. See, that's what happens. Where is it there? Silver is there. It's off 13 cents, 0.8%, 15.65, and copper unchanged at 236.5. Ely Mayor Nathan Robertson is with us with his regular weekly report. It has been a busy time for you going through all of these changes. Talk to us a little bit about the meeting that you had with the county this last week. I watched a little bit of that, but I'll let you put your perspective on it.
Well, I thought our meeting with the county went reasonably well. That happened the same day that the governor rolled out his Phase 1 or Intro to Phase 1 plan, or whatever we're calling it at the moment, which was good news. I mean, the fact that he opened a lot of that business, I think, kept the county from feeling they had to make any kind of drastic decisions there. So we were grateful for that.
Some things are going well. What is the plan right now, or is there a plan for reopening White Pine County or Ely, or is there one yet, or is that still being worked on, or what do we know?
Yeah, we've been working. It's a moving target. It's a moving target based on what the state puts out and what we work with. A lot of businesses did open up this weekend with some limitations and some directions and directives and guidelines that they need to follow, and we've been answering those questions, and a lot of people have been doing what they can to get their businesses open, and we're glad that they're able to do that now.
Give me an idea of what steps right now you as the mayor are envisioning that are going to need to take place for things to return to some semblance of normalcy. I mean, I realize it's not going to be normal for a while, but let's talk about some semblance
of normal. I really think that, like they're saying at the state and federal level, we're going to have some more widespread testing that we're waiting on. At the moment, in the short term, I think how things progress is going to be largely dependent upon how well the businesses that are opening adhere to the guidelines that have been put out. A lot of businesses have been able to open, restaurants as well. Bars aren't open yet, but restaurants have to reduce their seating capacity. Retail businesses have to reduce their occupancy loads. Employees have to wear masks, things like that.
It is not an easy task right now, and I know that you and others are working on trying to... I'm trying to figure out the way to say this that it doesn't sound negative, even though it is negative. You're trying to find a way to fill a 5-gallon bucket with 2 gallons of water.
Yeah,
and that's what you're in right now. That's what the city and everybody is in right now.
Everybody is in that. We were just talking before we came on the air about the state of financial emergency that the state's declaring and some of their shortfalls, and the city's not immune from that, and I know the county's not immune from that. So we've been working on a lot of proactive measures to make sure that we're doing all we can to anticipate the budget shortfalls that are surely going to be upon us here in the next couple months, and then to make sure that this is just one more storm that the city can put a notch in its belt that it's weathered.
And I was going to go over some things here upcoming, but the the city is going to try to renegotiate their interlocal agreement for fire services with the county?
Yeah, and this was the intent all along. I mean, they made a pretty good stab at it last year before I took office, but like with anything that's new, it took a year of, figuring out how this was working, how it would work, what were the ups and downs, what were the kinks that need to be worked out. So we need, and on top of that, with this COVID-19 thing, all the more reason that this needs to be probably adjusted some. And I should say that from the response time and from the service point, I think things have been going very well. The county volunteers have been working so well with our city employees and vice versa, and they've been getting people taken care of, and I think that's been going very well.
I think that one of the things that you and I can agree on is that whole situation in getting the city involved with the county. It came in very ugly, and it was
an ugly start.
It was very, very badly handled on the county's end. And I'm not going to, no, because all at once the county says we're doing this, and it's like, well, I think there were people at the city that are going, wait, what, huh?
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, I suppose, and I wasn't in office when they started that, but we got kind of tasked with running with this and making sure it worked, and with the cooperation of the county, I think functionally the agreement's been working very well. It's just from the administrative side and making sure that, given the budget downfalls, we can keep serving the county like we have, I think, is our aim. So
it has been. I've just gotten something in here, and I don't want to, get you on this, but from the governor's office, in a letter to congressional leadership today, governors and legislative leaders from 5 western states request $1 trillion in direct and flexible relief to states and local governments in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic in order to avoid deep cuts to services like public health, public safety, public education, and help people get back to work. I've just read this to you, and I don't think you knew about this because this press release just hit from the governor's office.
Oh, it came in as we were sitting here.
Your thoughts?
Well, looking at the governor's, the information that came from the governor's declaration of financial crisis of between $600 and $900 million shortfall at the state level, and here at the city level, we're looking at between now and the end of next fiscal year, probably a shortfall of at least $500,000, which is, in the vast scheme of things, probably not a lot. But here locally, that is quite a bit of money.
Eventually you're talking about real money.
Yeah.
Surely a billion here, a billion there.
A billion here, a billion there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these are big numbers, and everybody's going to be trying to scramble to make sure that they maintain their level of service to their citizens.
And one of the things that I have to say is that by and large, in the 12 years I've been in Ely, the city has always seemed to respond and act more fiscally responsible than other governmental units in the state.
Well, and whether that's because that we know something or because we have no other option. When you add up the numbers, the course of action, the number of options available to you become quite limited because the numbers are what the numbers are. And I think I've been pretty pleased with the measures the council has put forward for this, and to be proactive about it, I think, is our best course. It really is our only course, because if you wait to start bailing water out of your boat till it's already reached your neck, you're too late.
Yeah, and part of the reason I say that is that the city has had to deal with dramatic downturns before, because it has been, up until the last 10 years, primarily a mining community.
Yeah.
And even though we're still primarily a mining community, but tourism has become a bigger part of it. And then we saw the downturn when energy prices went through the roof. We had $4 a gallon gasoline, so people weren't driving to Ely.
Well, and just on a historical note too. I mean, as I was sitting, I have to sit through most of my meetings in my office now, just watching them on the computer. So I usually occupy myself try to do two things at once. And I was going through old meeting minutes from the Spanish influenza and also from the Great Depression while we were doing that. And the Ely has weathered very similar things before.
And it's always come through without having to result to too dramatic things.
Yeah.
You know.
During the Great Depression in 1929, they just finished their brand new city hall and taken out a big loan to do streetlights downtown. And as I was going through the minutes, that took a few years to deal with afterwards, because suddenly they'd done these big projects and there was no money.
Yep.
But these are history. History turns on small hinges, but we figure it out, and we've been here through 100 and some odd years. We'll be here for 100 and some odd more.
I don't know of a lot of people who who take their job so serious, and I'm going to blow smoke up your skirt for a moment, okay? But I know not a lot of people take their jobs so seriously that they dig through all of these things in the past and get to know history. But then it gets that whole thing of those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I've been in conversations over the last couple of weeks with a lot of mayors and city managers from around the state, from city, around our size, and talking with them on what they've been doing and kind of the problems they've been having and what they're looking at down the road. And it's we're all in the same boat. It's interesting to see how some other places deal with it, and kind of some of them have some locally interesting problems, but we'll figure it out, I suppose.
This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Let me also update you that coming up shortly here on the Nevada Talk Network, we will be taking you to the White House. The president will be addressing, and I had it up here and I've forgotten what it is. It's that short-term memory, delivering remarks and holding a press briefing on testing. So we will hear some more about that, and that's one of the things that we were just talking about in passing. Last minute here. What do you want to relay to people, and what message do you want to relay to the people of Ely, and let them know where we're standing at this point in time?
Make sure you fill out your census, first off. Also, I think people need to take some comfort in how their community has done with this. We do have a lot of testing available in our area. They're working on more testing. We're working with the state and federal health officials and getting more testing so that we can do this opening that we've started as responsibly as possible. We want to keep people in their jobs, and we want to keep people taking care of their families. So. And
we want to remind people to call the Chamber of Commerce and set up a time. If you don't want to fill out the paper forms, go down there. Mm-hmm. They have a computer set up down there, so you can actually fill it out down there.
Yeah, give Wayne a call down there, and they can set you up.
They'll set you all up. Ely Mayor Nathan Robertson with us. We'll see him next Monday, and we'll talk about the fist fights that broke out at the Ely City Council meeting. Hopefully not.
It's all virtual, so they can't do that. So. They can only yell at each other.
They can have a virtual fist fight. Who knows? All righty. 12:50 here where Nevada Comes to Talk. The president will be with us shortly here as Nevada Talk Network continues on a Monday.